That I strongly agree with the President and condemn in the strongest terms the staggering number of leaks undermining the ability of our government to protect this country.
He and the Director of National Intelligence vowing a crackdown to prevent leaks of classified material and punish leakers, an effort that includes a review of the guidelines on subpoenas for journalists who receive and release the information. A brief day in court in a high-profile San Francisco case, an illegal immigrant charged in a woman's murder. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, live in L.A.
Lisa, trial's fast approaching for Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez. In court today, the case was formally assigned to a trial judge, and pretrial motions are expected to begin next week. But an official trial date remains unclear. His attorney, Matt Gonzalez, says everyone involved is looking forward to jury selection.
I think we'll be able to get a fair trial here.
Last week, a different judge said the Bureau of Land Management's going to allow one of its rangers to testify. His gun was the one used to kill Kate Steinle on a pier in San Francisco 2 years ago. Gonzalez said Lopez Sanchez found the gun on a bench. It went off in his hand. Prior to this case, Lopez Sanchez had been deported 5 times to Mexico, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. A split verdict for former pharmaceutical company chief Martin Shkreli, best known for the soaring price of a life-saving drug, but on trial for unrelated securities fraud, accused of cheating investors in 2 failed hedge funds. A federal jury in New York finds him guilty on 3 counts, but not guilty on 5.
The government's attempt to theorize that it robbed Peter to pay Paul, and the jury has spoken conclusively that Richofin was not defrauded in this case.
Shkreli says he's delighted with the verdict. He can avoid what would have been the maximum 20 years in prison. Fox News, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
All right, man. 7 ballparks in 7 days. Here we go.
I've got my maps.
You don't need them. Huh? I got a nav system. See, you can even pinch to zoom. Look at.
And with available Sync 3 and voice-activated navigation, Ford Fusion has the tech to get you there and back.
Okay, you're holding that map upside down, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I thought Indiana looked strange.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 72 months on select Fusion, Escape, Edge, and Explorer models. Plus, get $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends August 22nd. Best selling based on current year 2016 sales. Don't drive while distracted. Use voice-operated systems when possible. Don't use handheld devices while driving. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month per $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade Assist Cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take delivery from dealer stock by August 22nd, 2017.
Holding a news conference the day after announcing a switch from Democrat to Republican at a rally with President Trump.
I have a real relationship with the president of this country, and I really do believe that he'll step forward and try in every way to help West Virginia.
Governor Jim Justice says the president's support for the coal industry is part of his switch, and he suggests that's good for national security, something to fall back on, for instance, if terrorists knock out the power grid. A Virginia man is suing the Republican Party for failing to repeal Obamacare. Bob Hegman is a retired attorney accusing GOP lawmakers of defrauding contributors by raising more than $750 million over 7 years with promises to repeal and replace. The 70-year-old from Virginia Beach says the Republican Party should return contributions or threaten to pull financial support from lawmakers if they fail to repeal. Federal records show he volunteered for the Trump campaign. A setback for an ice cream shop in a South Carolina fight over a flag.
It's a fight that's been going on since 2015. Owners of an ice cream shop in Orangeburg, South Carolina, trying to remove the Confederate flag and monument that sits right next to it. Now an appeals board deciding that flag doesn't violate the city's zoning laws. The owner of the Edisto River Creamery complaining the flag, which some Americans consider a symbol of racism, has cost him customers and that he's received threats and angry letters. The eatery, once owned by a man who flew Confederate flags at all his restaurants, and when he sold this one, he deeded a corner of the property to the sons of the Confederate veterans for them to fly the flag.
Fox's Lillian Wu. The shop owners can appeal to circuit court. The Dow up 66 points at the closing bell to an 8th record close in a row, 22,092. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS, or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Oh, nice. Right now, overcast, low of 55. Saturday, a high 79, mostly sunny, low of 62. Sunday, rainy, high 71, a low of 60. Right now, cool, cloudy, 66 degrees in Champaign-Urbana. The Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Jeremy Warner flying kind of solo. The first segment is Lante is on his way. He's manning the pork burger booth. Is this at Villa Grove? What days?
I think it's Ag Days.
That's correct. Yes. That's Austin Berkland. And this is kind of a sneak preview of what the Jeremy Warner Show will be. We will actually have a trial run. I think it's Wednesday, August 15th.
I'm excited for that.
Because Lon is gone. And it's a 2-hour show, so I figured I'll just go solo, and you and I will have a test run of what will be the Jeremy Warner Show 9 to 11 starting August 21st. But we also have Harry Black and Trevor Vlies are here as well. But we're going to talk a lot of Illini today in about an hour and 50 minutes of what we have
Can
today.
The Cardinals quit playing weird game time?
Yeah, it's a weird start time tonight in Cincinnati. A 6:40 first pitch, or 5:40 first pitch. So we are off the air at about 4:50 today, which is really weird. I don't think we've ever had that before on this show. But the Cardinals will be in action. You'll hear the pregame and the game right here on ESPN Radio 93.5. Cubs already down 3-0 after Paul Goldschmidt went yard 3 times yesterday and really upped his MVP candidacy. Now Daniel Murphy, the Cubs killer, has gone yard twice in his first 2 at-bats, right?
Yes. I mean, it's just MVP candidates just doing their thing right now. I know Daniel Murphy's not to the level of Paul Goldschmidt or even his own teammate Zimmerman or Harper, but those guys are just doing what they do best right now, and that's hitting the long ball, and the Cubs can't seem to do anything to stop it between Jose Quintana and Kyle Hendricks, and then Wade Davis giving up 2 homers for the first time since he was a starter in Tampa Bay. The Cubs are just not having that good of luck right now.
Yeah, I mean, these are some of the best hitters in the game, and I was telling you guys before the show, Daniel Murphy, after he had his great postseason with the Mets and the ride to the World Series, I was like, the White Sox are going to sign him. He's going to be terrible. He's going to be a postseason guy, a postseason wonder, and then he turns into one of the best hitters in baseball. He's had a heck of a nice career ever since then. But the Cubs down 3-0. The Cardinals will be back in action, and the Cubs, these little slip-ups are letting the Brewers kind of stick around there. The Cubs aren't running away. I still think they will win this division. They're the stronger team. The Cardinals, I don't think are going to make a run here, but the Brewers and Cardinals and Pirates are at least hanging around right now. So these losses, you can't have multiple of them in a row, and it's off to a bad start tonight. You just don't want those 3-game losing streaks to let those teams hang around.
Yeah, I read a tweet from Kevin Wheeler that said the Cardinals are the only team in the NL Central not to have a 5-game win streak.
It sounds right. It feels like they haven't gone on a run. And Lon keeps saying, I can't wait till they go on that run. I don't know if this team is built for that.
No, with the way the lineups are situated between Harrison Bader, he did a great job, and now he's being sent down for Stephen Piscotty, who can't seem to hit a baseball right now. And then the lineup management has been really strange. Like, why is Carson Kelly batting 5th tonight for the Cardinals? There's no rhyme or reason to that.
Yeah.
Put him in a bottom of the order situation so he can develop a little bit more instead of putting him in that high pressure situation.
Just a team in a weird place right now.
Yes.
They're in that in between right now. Lon is on his way, and he said he brought me a burger and a chop.
Oh wow!
I don't know if he brought the interns a burger and a chop,
or the guy filling in for the first segment,
right?
A burger and a chop.
So let me ask all of you, Trevor, Harry, and Austin, if you had to pick between a pork chop and a pork burger, what are you going with? That should be the poll question today.
Okay.
At Tay and J Show. Let's put that up here after this segment. What would you go with? Pork chop or pork burger? Austin, go.
I'm going pork chop because it's just more bang for your buck, I'm guessing, with the size and with the
There's more meat there.
Juiciness of it. So, pork chop for sure.
There's more meat there. How about Harry Black? We need to put his mic up there. There you go.
Is a pork burger like a pulled pork sandwich?
No.
It's like
it's a pork patty.
Think of a hamburger, but only made with pork.
So you've never had the pork burger?
I might have, but I'd probably just go pork chop for familiarity.
Okay.
I think it's just an East Central Illinois thing, is a pork burger. Because
Will County, we got it at the 4-H booth. We got the pork burgers, and it's a big hit.
In Indiana, they did not know what a pork burger was. They went to butcher shops.
I bet there's a lot of people that haven't had a pork burger.
Kansas City, they don't know.
Oh, man. All right, I'm going to give you...
Trevor, where are you from?
What?
Where are you from, Trevor?
Here, Champaign.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is we're going to split this pork burger up into 4 sections.
Sounds good.
But you got to get it's got to be the right seasoning to really bring it out. But man, a good pork burger with a little bit of American cheese on top of it with a toasted bun. Yeah, give me that over a chop any day.
My dad
chop's a little dry.
So if you go to the U of I Meat Lab, you can get a box of pork burgers, and they are fantastic. So,
phenomenal.
I would highly recommend you guys doing that.
All right, so it is a big weekend for Illinois football and for Illinois basketball on the recruiting front. Illinois basketball we'll talk about with Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com at 4:05. They're hosting today Zion Griffin, who feels like a name we are just learning. He's a kid out of Hinsdale that is really exploded out on the recruiting circuit. A lot of people thought he was an undersized 4. We talked with Joe Hendrickson earlier in the week, but it seems like he can play on the wing a little bit. He's really upped his scoring, really athletic. And when Joe broke him down earlier in the week, he said he's probably more of a 4-3, an undersized 4 that could play the 3, but he thinks he can develop into a 3-4. He sounded like Roger Powell.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't sound like maybe the star of your team, but it sounded like the athletic, tough kind of player that's versatile. I'm not going to say he is Roger Powell, but that kind of player. And Illinois has taken a big liking to him. They just offered him earlier in the week, and they're hosting him on a visit, and it seems like they could push for him. So Zion Griffin, I wouldn't have said could be a priority in this class, given that Tim Finke, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Ayo Dosunmu. But this in-state class is kind of bulked up a little bit with guys like George Condit and Zion Griffin.
It's a lot like the Mark Smith situation where a guy just blows up during the evaluation period, and then I'm sure he'll blow up even more whenever that high school season starts. And if you add in Ayo Dosunmu, I don't care who the rest of your class is. I mean, if you get pair him up with the wing on Mark Smith, those two could be dangerous enough, and then just add what Underwood loves to do, get guys that fit his system.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then that is a fantastic team and a team that has a chance to compete for Big Ten titles or top 4 in the Big Ten.
I believe it was Iowa State has offered this kid as well, so he's really blowing up on the circuit. They're also going to host Aaron Henry, an out-of-state kid, for a visit this weekend as well. He's out of Indianapolis, so of course Lante loves to hear that. I believe he's a lefty shooter. He's got a lot of big-time offers, so it'll be more competitive there. Butler, Indiana, Michigan State, Xavier are all in the mix, but good to get a guy like that on campus. As for Illinois football, this is another monstrous weekend, and it starts tonight. 4-star defensive tackle Calvin Avery is going to announce his decision. Who is he? Let's start there. He is a top 200 prospect out of Bishop Dunn in Dallas, Texas, which is a powerhouse. They have usually multiple Power 5 prospects in that school every year. He's the number 2 defensive tackle in the state of Texas, which tells you something. He's also teammates with Kevin Myers, the 3-star offensive tackle who committed to Illinois last month. He's 6'2", 310, and when you watch his film, he's a big boy, can take up space, but he's also got really quick feet and athleticism, which is rare for a guy that big.
Yeah, I've seen some of that when him and Kevion were doing those wide receiver defensive back drills.
Yeah, and everyone was focused on Vertus Brown, and I get it. He's an in-state kid. We'd focused on him for a while. He'd visited Illinois so many times. And even when Calvin Avery visited in June for the Friday Night Lights camp, I'm like, oh, Illinois is not going to get him. Oklahoma, USC, TCU are all in his top 5. Colorado is as well. And I was like, oh, they're not going to get him. Well, that visit really helped them out. And going into tonight, Illinois has a good feeling. Like, there's a lot of confidence here where this could be a splash recruit. This class has lacked that. I thought Kalen Tolson was a good get. There's some good gets, some good fits, but they don't have a lot of marquee names with a long offer list of who's in college football. Calvin Avery is that kind of prospect, and you add him to a defensive line in this freshman class that looks pretty good and pretty deep. You add him to Kendrick Green on the interior, Jamal Milan, Tamir Oliver, who's looked really good in camp. That'd be a big get and a splash, not only here regionally, but in the state of Texas. To get 2 kids like that out of Bishop Dunn, kids who had in-state offers from TCU and Texas Tech, it's rare for Texas kids to leave the state, but some want to leave. And Calvin Avery has told us he kind of likes the idea of leaving state. So Illinois going in tonight, this could be a big get that could get the fan base pretty fired up about what Lovey's capable of. And if they get Myers and Avery, got to give a shout-out to Andrew Hayes-Stoker, who went 0-for in Texas last year, missed out on Reggie Roberson on the week of signing day, and that was a big loss for him. And he got some criticism for that. But I've always thought he had a good potential. He seems to really connect with kids. You're able to get these 2 kids in this class and maybe a couple more. That'd be great for Illinois to have Florida and Texas to be able to go down there and get kids every year, especially with them struggling in state this year for the top kids. That'd be pretty big for Illinois.
Like I'm not saying that Illinois is turning the corner on recruiting right now. There's still a long way to go.
Because there's some iffy takes in this class, right? I mean, there's some guys that they're sold on that other people aren't sold on.
Yeah, before Illinois turns the corner. I'm not saying they're at that point, but you can finally start seeing the corner with the class when you look at the class of 2019 with all the Trinity kids from St. Louis and then the Florida connections that Thad Ward has and the Texas connection.
They've had 13 kids commit or sign from Florida since Lovey's gotten here. They've had 14 from in-state. And that could change this weekend where Florida takes the lead, actually. So, yeah, they are really connected down there. Like you said, Lovey, Hardy, Donnie Abraham really resonate, but most importantly, Thad Ward has.
And when those three combine, that St. Louis, Texas, and Florida connection all come together, then that's a team that's starting to compete with the Iowas and the Minnesotas and even a Wisconsin every other year.
Yeah.
Though Illinois has never had that with those combinations of classes. It's always been just one monster class and then weak classes all around with the Ron Zook era and the Tim Beckman era.
Yeah, if you go to practice the next week or so for training camp, you're going to notice the freshmen. And it's not that they're going to be great this year. They're going to have their struggles. They are freshmen. They are not a bunch of 5-star kids, right? But they look like Big Ten players. There's been a lot of time in the last couple classes where half the class, it's like, I don't think they're Big Ten-looking athletes, right? Or they don't have Big Ten size on the interior. This class has that. And I can tell you, most of the offensive guys in this class, I think the staff already thinks they've all hit. Like, those guys are going to be players. The defensive guys might need more time to develop, whether it's a Dawson DeGroot or James Knight or whatever it is. The defensive linemen obviously going to need time to develop, but there's guys there that you're like, that's the type of athleticism, that's the type of length, and that's what this staff, I like what they're doing, is they're adding guys with Big Ten traits when it felt like half the class that the previous staff had, those guys weren't the Big Ten size, they weren't the Big Ten athleticism and speed that you needed.
They were more of gamers to their competition level, and I think Tim Beckman and his staff really love that.
Yeah.
And instead of going for the measurables,
because that's what you look for, especially in the Mid-American Conference, right? I mean, now they got some good players. They got some good players that got to the NFL. Not taking away from that. I'm just saying, for a full roster, you got to have depth, and that's one thing Illinois hasn't had in a long time. They won't have it this year. They won't have it next year. But as you stack class upon class upon class, that's what you need. You need depth of Big Ten speed, Big Ten athleticism, Big Ten size.
It's more of a sustainable model too, instead of the junior college thing that Tim Beckman loved doing, and Lovey is building a foundation that's built to stick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see it. We need more time, but you go out and you watch this practice, and you go, if they get 3 classes like that in a row, or similar, and of that kind of ilk, this team can be a rising team, a competitive team, maybe one that takes a leap in the Big Ten. They added another one of those guys today. Ricky Smalling is back at practice.
Illini fans breathe.
He is here. He is here. I told you that the Illini staff was not worried about this. I know people freaked out. I had some questions of when he wasn't here for the first couple of days of practice, but I kept hearing He'll be here. And then Lovey finally said it and kind of calmed Illini fans down. Well, he is at practice today, and he's the guy I think can make the most immediate impact. But there's a lot of other guys as well. I mean, Ricky is 6'1", good athlete, good speed, but it's just his competitiveness, his quickness in and out of routes. He's a refined route runner. He's built to play right now and adds even more playmakers to a wide receiver group that added a lot of playmakers with Mike Dudek. Kendall Smith's had a good camp. Carmani Green has really good speed. But Mike Epstein's looked really, really good in camp so far.
Do you think he can play the slot this year a little bit?
Who's that?
Mike Epstein.
Epstein's a running back, but he is a versatile guy. So Reggie Corbin had a good year last year, and he can make people miss. Doesn't have that burst, right? He doesn't have that burst to run away from people. Epstein has that. Epstein has a little bit more size. I think he's going to play a lot. I think Larry Boyd has looked the part to this point. I mean, he is a freak. He's going to have mistakes. But Kendall Smith has surprised me. Cam Thomas, I think, has shown that he has the tools. There's some excitement with that freshman class. It's just there's a lot of concerns about depth on the offensive line, the defensive line being so young, the second cornerback spot, and it comes down to a lot, Chase Crouch staying healthy. If Chase Crouch isn't healthy, I think this team's going to have a lot of issues.
Do you think Cam Thomas is the second stringer?
I don't think he should be. I think you need to redshirt Cam Thomas. I don't think a lot of good happens, but he's definitely the tools he got. I mean, Jeff George, I don't think there's a lot of upside quite there, but if Chase Crouch stays healthy or even if he misses a game or two, I would think Jeff George would be the one to come in. But they love Cam Thomas. The staff is high on him. I know a lot of people were sitting there going, oh, what position is he going to end up at? And I kept saying, he's going to be a quarterback, guys. He played for a bad high school team, didn't get a lot of reps in the pocket, was running for his life the entire time, but you see him throw in a camp setting. I saw him against some of the best quarterbacks in the Midwest, and he looked the part. He looked like one of the better guys in the Midwest, has a good arm. He's skinny. He's had strength, but he runs a 4.5 40. He's got some elusiveness to him, and he's a quick learner. So I think there's a lot of upside to this freshman group that'll be fun to watch this year, to see it develop, to see it on the field, to see something new after last year, especially on offense, which was so atrocious to watch last year. I think that'll be fun this year, but I do think they're going to take their lumps, especially when it comes to the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm looking at this a lot like the 2014 Cubs. I want to see the youth in action. I want to see, I know the UFI doesn't have a minor league system, but I would like to see those freshmen make gains this year, and that's the most important part for me this year is just seeing those gains, just like I saw Chris Bryant in the minor league do and Kyle Schwarber in the minor league do.
All right, so it's a big recruiting weekend for the Illini. We'll talk more football as well. I talked to some of the coaches. Hardy Nickerson has a good group of linebackers. Andrew Hayes-Stoker, we were talking about the wide receivers, how much talent he adds. We'll hear from them. Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com at 4:05. We have our Mettler Center injury report coming up as well. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. You can call us on the Jupiter's the Crossing phone line or text the Chief Power text line. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. I tweet at J Warner Scout.
And I'm at AB1132.
Follow Austin Berkeley. He's going to be my producer extraordinaire for the Jeremy Warner Show. You can download the WSJK app. You can watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show and get our podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. We have the Mettler Center injury report, and I think Lon Tay is here. I think I hear his booming voice,
hear his voice
from the hallway. Shut up, Lon. We can hear you in here. It's the Tay and J Show.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat-screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Code sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours. 24/24. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Celebrate with 0%, 50,000 bonus points, and 5 times points. The University of Illinois is celebrating 150 years, and the U of I Community Credit Union is getting in on the celebration with this exclusive offer. Now through September 30th, open a new Illini Visa and watch the advantages roll in, like 0%. That's right, 0% on all purchases until May 2018 for qualified applicants. Plus, everyone who opens a new Illini Visa rewards card could earn up to 50,000 bonus points. Use those points to purchase trips, gift cards, electronics, and more. But that's not all. All reward card holders will earn 5 times points on U of I purchases. Apply for your card today at IlliniCard.org. That's IlliniCard.org. Celebrate the University of Illinois and get rewarded, because no one cheers louder for their community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
Hi guys, it's your pal Corny from the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival here. I'm so excited to present the 43rd annual celebration of me, August 25th and 26th. This year's festival has gone back to my roots and is local. Visit me at the area's largest free festival and find the best local vendors, live music, the Motor Muster Car Show, and of course, the main attraction, hot and buttery locally grown sweet corn.
This festival is proudly brought to you by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, WCIA, CUMTD, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Habitat for Humanity of Champaign County Restore hours have changed. The University Avenue location is open for customer shopping, donation drop-offs, and pickups on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Donations can also be received on Tuesdays from 10 to 6. Free donation pickups can be scheduled Tuesday through Saturday by calling 359-0507. Habitat for Humanity of Champaign County, online at cuhabitat.org.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignUrbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated. Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
The Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Werner. I'm back. I had to miss that first segment. I know you told everybody. I had to meet with the Douglas County Health Department to make sure our pork burger booth is in code.
And you brought a pork burger and a pork sandwich, and we all partook in it. So right. I split it up because you brought it for me.
Right.
And I'm so nice that I split it with all the interns.
That is very nice.
Just cut it into 4 pieces. Now, does the pork burger get a thumbs up from everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, got it. And it wasn't even seasoned.
No, that's the story.
Didn't have cheese on it, and they liked it. So
that's good.
You put a little pork rub on that thing?
Yes. Well, the story is, and we're getting ready for the Mettler Center injury report, the story is that we don't cook until 5 o'clock tonight. So we're getting ready to go, and I'm like, Dave McGee's the guy he's our master chef, he and Steve Boyer. And I'm like, guys, I want to throw a chop and a burger on for Jeremy. So I throw it on there, and 5 seconds after I throw it on, McGee is like, I don't have the seasoning. Because he was going to head back home, and I'm like, oh, no, they're going to eat this without seasoning. So it's 10 times better, we know, with the seasoning, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
So
good
we'll
stuff.
we'll be shameless plug. We'll be selling those down at
There you
Villa
go.
Grove Ag Days
Well,
today
if you've
and
never
tomorrow.
had a pork burger,
Right?
get down to Villa Grove.
Oh, it's awesome. And we're on the south end of the street. I'll be there from 7 a.m. to about 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Do I have the choice of cheese if I want cheese?
We
on
don't
it?
put cheese on them.
Can I bring my own cheese?
You could bring your own cheese.
Like a Kraft single in the back of my pocket.
Jeremy just shows up with a Kraft single. Can you put this on the grill, please? Absolutely, we can. Yeah, so we normally don't put cheese on them, but I want to try that one time because that sounds good.
I mean, cheese on it.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if the Mettler Center would say
No.
go with the cheese on the burger.
Probably
but
not.
It's good. Let's get to the Jupiter's the Crossing phone line. It's time for a Mettler Center injury report with Doctor of Physical Therapy, Jeff Schrader. Matt Carpenter, he's been on and off with right hip discomfort. 1 week ago, he experienced right quad tightness and missed a few games as well. Jeff, the one thing that's kind of common throughout our discussions is one injury always seems to maybe cause another injury.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And if you look back at his history, he's actually had some left hip issues in the past too. So it's sort of you sort of think, is he chasing some symptoms by treating one thing and not treating it fast enough or whatever the case may be? Something else up the chain has to compensate and do more work. So it's not uncommon to have one area, like in the leg, for example, further down, affect something up higher or vice versa.
Well, Jeff Schroeder, how do we stop that from happening? If we have an injury, how do we stop another injury from occurring?
Well, the best thing to do is to prevent the injuries. But since we can't always do that, I guess you really got to figure out, try to be speedy and timely in addressing addressing those issues. And that involves, the stretching and strengthening, but really giving it the muscles rest, because my assumption is that it's muscular in nature with his hip and or he's got that quad issue. So you want to address it in a timely manner. You want to rest it at the same time, not too much rest. Do the stretches, do all the right things, and then not return too quickly back to playing. So, as we get a little bit older, we may need a little bit more recovery time, and we have to be smarter about things.
Jeff, forget the injuries. Can you teach them how to hit? Because right now they cannot hit. That's what I want to know.
Well, hey, here's the beautiful thing, though. Physical therapy is not just about treating injuries. We're about wellness and prevention, and we're really good at biomechanics and breaking down swings and doing those fun things.
There you go. Then I'm going to send individually the Cardinals, starting with Matt Carpenter, to you guys, and we'll just make daily appointments every day.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to help them out. Just as long as it's not right before they play the Cubs.
Right. No, there you go.
Jeff Schroeder, Mettler Center Physical Therapy, Doctor of Physical Therapy there. If you have an ache or pain like Matt Carpenter, you can get a free consultation. Just go to MettlerCenter.com for more information. Jeff, we appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, fellas.
You too, buddy. The good stuff there. Jeff Schroeder, the Cardinals. The injury is one thing, the hitting is another, and they can't do it. They can't do it. I just went off yesterday for about 15 minutes on that game. Like every once in a while, I will actually. I usually watch most of the games, but I don't take the time to get mad and tweet about it. But yesterday, I was watching that game and I just kept tweeting. I'm like, Piscotty can't hit. Oh, Cecil can't pitch. Oh, that's shocking. Just the typical Lante would Figures, of course. So I don't know. This team is so frustrating. If they would have won yesterday, they'd be, 3.5 games out?
Yeah, see,
that's the amazing thing.
You're like a White Sox fan right now.
Right.
Like the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't miss it.
No,
I like not having to tune into my team, not caring, just being like, okay, they lost, great. Let's get that number one pick. Okay, Yoel Moncada struggling a little bit. It doesn't matter right now. Get your reps in, kid.
That's exactly right.
There's just no pressure.
No.
You're going to get better at some point. Where Cardinals fans are like, is this going to get better?
Is this going to? I don't know. I'm just going to try to get through this year. I still enjoy having the Cardinals game on. I'll put it that way. All right. I heard you a little bit, but then I was out in the hallway visiting. Ricky Smalling is back, right?
Yes, and Austin Berkland has an update. Oh, we'll chat a little bit after that about it.
It is time.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. The Illini have their eyes locked deep in the heart of Texas tonight when 4-star defensive lineman Calvin Avery from Bishop Dunn High School in Dallas makes his college decision. Avery has a top 5 of Colorado, Illinois, Oklahoma, TCU, and USC. The commitment news should come out around 5:45 Central Time. In other Illini football news, Ricky Smalling, the 4-star wide receiver out of Brother Rice, has officially hit the practice field. So that means he is back with the Illini. Jaquan Lyle, the former Ohio State Buckeye, has transferred to the University of New Mexico. Lyle was a 5-star recruit back in the class of 2015. The Cubs have fallen in their past 2 games to the Diamondbacks, and they were back at Cool Wrigley Field against Tanner Roark, and that score is 3-2, it looks like, with runners on first and second in the top of the 8th inning.
Daniel Murphy at the plate.
Your boy.
Oh, you know they're going to homer right as I do the update.
Your
because that's
boy.
how it always happens on these 120 starts.
Oh, I'll let you know.
Oh, I know you will, Lon. Addison Russell did go to the 10-day DL with a right foot strain. Relief pitcher Rob Zastryzny is called up while Addy recovers. The Cardinals play the Reds tonight, and the pitching matchup is Mike Leake taking on Asher Wojciechowski.
Oh, my God.
Carson Kelly
I don't think Leake has ever beaten the Reds.
Really?
Honestly, I think that's a stat.
Pitched against the Reds.
Yeah. Carson Kelly is taking over for Yadier Molina tonight, so expect an Instagram post.
Yes.
And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
Because Leake was a Red.
He was a Red. But I think he's faced him like 4 times since, and he's never beaten him. I think.
4 times.
I know, you're right. Hey, I got your little Instagram thing there. And well done. Can I just say, Yachty, knock it off.
Is he Instagramming again? Did I miss this?
Well, you saw the one, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then he Instagrammed one with Yachty, or with Jose Akendo, and said, man, we really missed this guy.
Oh, my.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh, I missed this.
Yes.
In my Illinois football haze, I've missed some of these stories.
See what happens when you work? You shouldn't be doing that stuff.
Yachty, what is going on there?
Quit it, Yachty.
I think you should release him.
Yeah, just get rid of him.
The Cubs did this with Montero, right?
Right.
Why can't you do it with Yachty Molina?
How?
If it came down to the Cardinals, they had to go, okay, Matheny's got to go where Yachty's going.
Matheny's out. See you, Mike.
But isn't Yachty the one in the wrong
Yes,
right now?
he's completely in the wrong. I don't know. It's so frustrating.
I thought he was this great stand-up teammate.
And then,
or is he being a good teammate by exposing Matheny?
Maybe. And hey, listen, a lot of people think that. And a scribe down in St. Louis today wrote the article saying, yes, it was wrong about Molina, but maybe this Cardinals team needs this. Maybe they all need to play with this kind of passion. But I don't know. I don't think Yachty has any issue with Carson Kelly, but he certainly is letting everybody know that he's not happy right now.
Yeah.
And yesterday,
which is so rare for this Cardinals team.
Totally.
And that's one thing I've always given credit with Matheny for. You've never had stupid stuff like this.
You haven't.
You know, there's a bunch of teams that have stupid stuff that goes in their locker room, whatever it is. It always seems like Matheny's had control of that. And now something goes wrong, and it's Yachty. It's not like Steven Piscotty.
No, right. This is your leader.
This is the guy. The guy who's what? Probably making the most money?
Probably.
On your team, right?
Yeah, he would be.
This is the face of your franchise.
He and Waino.
Yeah.
So, and he's, it's interesting that Waino's kind of been quiet through this. But what is interesting, and I was going to tell Austin this, that Carson Kelly's catching today. I know you guys didn't watch the Cardinal game yesterday, but Yachty took like 4 shots off his mask, foul balls, and a bat that had been swung and missed and came back and knocked him in the back of the head. It was one of those games where Jim Edmonds and Dan McLaughlin the whole time are like, oh, again. You know, it's just sometimes the catcher just has one of those games where they cannot avoid injuries. So I had a feeling that maybe Yachty might take a day off today, but I'm sure he'll complain about it.
On this date in 1993, we saw one of the best fights, or one of the, I wouldn't say best fights, one of the biggest beatdowns.
I know exactly where you're going. I saw it on Facebook today.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan.
Yes.
Threw one at Robin Ventura.
Right.
This was 45-year-old Nolan Ryan.
And Robin was pretty young, right?
25-year-old Robin Ventura. Robin charges the mound. And he just gets put in a headlock and bam, bam, bam. Some people call it the noogie, but there's some nice shots to the top of Robin Ventura's head in that one.
Any listeners out there that are younger, if you have not seen this, do yourself a favor and go to YouTube and YouTube the Nolan Ryan Robin Ventura fight. It is so one-sided, it's ridiculous. And it's really all about manpower, like old manpower.
Yeah.
You know, those guys that go to the basketball gym and they're older than you, but you can't ever move them out of the lane.
People forget how big pitchers are sometimes.
That's true. And Nolan Ryan was the first of the...
Cue me up.
Okay.
Pop me up over here, because I don't know.
Oh.
Here's Ventura, RBI single in the first. Watch out. Look at this.
Pudge Rodriguez holding him back.
I love how Hawk's like, look at this while you're on the radio, Hawk.
He's on TV, actually.
Oh, he was? Oh, that's true.
Wow.
Hawk's so tame.
He was young then.
Just got his butt kicked.
Oh.
Or head kicked. Rafael Palmeiro's got a mullet.
Wow.
Kirk McCaffrey.
To the pitch.
It's so weird to hear Hawk so subdued in a situation like this.
I don't think he knows what to say.
Ryan.
Joe, you got to be beeping me. This was like normal broadcaster Hawk. Anyway.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That's it. You can YouTube. It's the first thing that comes up.
Funny that Hawk just went silent. He didn't know what to say during that thing.
He usually goes silent when he's upset about the White Sox.
Yes.
Like that one, like he usually gets all into that stuff.
I think the world went silent when that happened. Because you're like, man, did Nolan Ryan just punk that kid?
Because Robin Ventura was a rising star at that time, and Nolan Ryan's just like older. I wouldn't say washed up, but
he was
just
older.
An old guy.
Yes.
And he just
took him in his arm.
Used that old man strength to his advantage.
Without a doubt. Hey, we're going to visit with Derek Piper at 4:05. When are we starting to get to the point where, as an Illini fan, I want to start hearing some movements? Are we a couple
Am I
weeks?
freaking out yet?
Yeah,
are we
right.
Are we getting to that game?
Have we gotten Io yet?
No.
That's what I want to know.
Are we freaking out yet? Is that the game yet for basketball?
I don't think it is. I'm not there yet because I'm still more worried. Well, I'm more worried about basketball recruiting. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still kind of focused in on the football side of things. So I've kind of let the basketball drift.
Yeah.
But then every time we have like Derek Piper on, I start to wonder to myself, like, wait a minute, we're having Piper on. Should he be talking about one of these recruits? You know, like should we be asking him, hey, they got this guy?
I think the process has slowed down a lot.
Okay.
For one, I think a lot of kids when I started covering recruiting, 2009,
right?
Tracy Abrams was a sophomore. You know, Nana Egu was a junior. Brandon Paul, those guys were young kids
in high school.
Yeah, in high school when they were committing. And nowadays, it seems like these kids are waiting until their senior year and or at least right before their senior year to actually commit. And I think that's smarter.
Yes.
I think it's smarter for the staffs and all that. I mean, there's no doubt guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dosumo's a no doubt guy.
Right.
He doesn't need to commit right now.
I agree.
Right? So I think it's smarter for both that are involved in the process because what if Tim Finke had committed somewhere?
Right.
And then he has this bad string. Then you get that weird spot of, Tim, look elsewhere. Like that's not a great place to be. So I think the more evaluation for both sides, the better this is.
Okay.
The better fit you'll have, the less transfers we could have.
That makes sense.
That probably won't happen. But also, you have a bunch of new staffs.
Yeah.
Especially in the Big Ten. I mean, Indiana new staff, Ohio State new staff,
right.
Illinois new staff. So a lot of these new staffs across the country are trying to figure out the evaluation of these players that maybe they weren't recruiting at their previous spot.
Good call. That's a great call, and that'll be interesting to see. But it would be nice to just wake up one day and see a tweet from you that Io has committed.
A bird in the hand?
Yes, I would be like, all right, I'm good with that. Hey, next hour, we're going to hear from some Illini football players. I'm excited about this. Or coaches, including, let me try to do it, Coach Legashevsky.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked him your question.
I had to look at it.
I asked him your question.
Which was?
You asked, how does he coach a guy like,
that's right.
like Hayes?
That has never played football. Do you try to show him? Do you literally sit him down and make him watch last night's Arizona Cardinal Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah. I mean, he's watched some football, but he hasn't played a lot of American football. He's got a big leg, so you'll hear from him a little bit later on. Andrew Hayes Stoker has a new toy to play with. Ricky Smalling has arrived at campus, and Illinois football and Andrew Hayes Stoker, big recruit they've been going after. Calvin Avery making the decision tonight. We'll get Lon's thoughts on a couple of those things. Piper at 4:05.
Okay.
Then you hear from some of the Illini coaching staff.
And when we come back, I am going to break down Blaine Gabbert's exceptional Game 1 with the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
I kid, I'm not going to do that. It is the Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
It's time for Out and About with Visit Champaign County. Terry joining us. Terry, talk to me about live local theater this weekend.
One of the most beloved musicals of all time will be playing at the Virginia Theater this weekend. Check out CUTC's production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, playing now through Sunday. You can sing along to a wide range of songs as you follow along Joseph's colorful adventures.
Comic-Con rolling into town in Urbana. Tell me about this.
The Urbana Free Library will be hosting a Comic-Con on Saturday from 11 to 4. They'll celebrate everything from Dungeons to Dragons, games like Minecraft, and pop culture from shows like Firefly and Supernatural.
All right, and if you head downtown Champaign tomorrow night, you're going to get lots of live music while supporting Developmental Service Center.
That's right. This is a great annual event that's happening at One Main Plaza. It is See You at the Prairie. It is for the Developmental Services Center, and they host the Tons of Fun Band and the Boat Trunks for a full evening of entertainment.
And a $2,500 raffle as well. For details on these three events or anything else happening this weekend, Terry, where can our listeners go?
Visit ChampaignCounty.org.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know the quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
When you hit the brakes in time but the guy behind you doesn't, get it to Gerber. When your teenager puts the dent in Stu Dent Driver, yep, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass. Call 877-7-GERBER. Gerber comes highly recommended.
Have you been dreaming about next year's vacation? With the Prospect Bank's Vacation Club, you can save now for next year. Determine how much you want to transfer monthly from your Prospect account to your Vacation Club account and earn 0.55 annual percentage yield between now and April of 2018. Deposit up to $1,000 per month. Find out more online at theprospectbank.com. The Prospect Bank, a division of Edgar County Bank and Trust Company, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, is now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Stop in and check brand new styles at the corner of Neal and Kirby across from McDonald's. Game Day has new looks to head back to school for the men, women, juniors, and youth. Plus, Game Day Spirit has a huge selection of buy one, get one free Illini shirts for the whole family. Shop Game Day Spirit on Green Street at their new location at 1602 South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Go Illini.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
So our TV in the studio, excellent TV. But when the Cubs game is on, for some reason, I can never see the score.
That's because it's on a different station.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't carry the HD. So it's in standard definition, which doesn't fit an HD TV.
Isn't this weird?
Remember, like, every time I see this, I go, remember SD? Like, I didn't know what SD was back then.
We were so probably excited about it to say, wow, it's standard definition. Yeah. Every time I turn my TV on now, my remote, like, it'll come up on the screen, and have you ever done this? It's the same message every time about I can help my resolution by hitting some... And every time I just hit OK real quick and just get it off the screen.
That's the best way to do it.
Okay.
I don't think you're very picky.
No, I know, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, if it would be my luck that I would change it and I would hate the next one and I wouldn't know how to get it back.
I remember a time in my life.
Okay.
This was like college.
Okay.
Right? I had a tube TV.
Yes.
So it didn't have HD or anything like that. And our TV in the fraternity house had HD, and I'm like, I started to buy my own cable at some point. I'm like, I don't need that.
It's a big step.
And then the first time you get it.
Then it's like,
and you have it. And then you go back. Then you have a channel like this that doesn't have the HD version. You're like, I watch TV like that?
How did I do that?
Right?
How did I do that?
When kids watch like the 1985 NBA Finals, and they're like, you guys actually watched a game like this?
And
can't even see the numbers on somebody's jersey.
Oh, it's so true. Somebody texted in, by the way, Bob from Homer texted in a picture of Mike Matheny making this goofy face, and it says, that moment you realize Steve Bartman received a World Series ring before you did.
Did you guys talk a lot about that?
No, we didn't at all.
Okay, good.
We did not at all, and that's great for Steve, I guess, and
I don't mind it for Steve or whatever it is, but the columns and the takes that come from it, like,
oh, yeah.
Cubs fans want him to come out and do it. Stop being selfish.
Yeah. Exactly.
You only want it for your reasons.
Yeah. You want to feel better.
Steve is fine.
That's exactly right.
Steve is fine.
Cubs fans want to feel better because they know they absolutely annihilated this guy for years.
Well, and it was probably a minority of them, but that night, how many people were so upset?
Oh, horrible.
Right?
The
and
poor kid.
That guy's life has changed, and now you just want to feel better about yourself.
You do.
You don't want Steve to feel better. You want yourself to feel better.
If he came in this studio right now, I would ask him one question, and I would say, why were you wearing a green turtleneck? Why a green turtleneck? I don't understand. I get the turtleneck because it can be cold at Wrigley Field, but green?
Do you think he's gone to wireless headphones? Or does he still have the wire with the two little...
He seems old school to me. He seems like a guy that would be old school to me. But
Did you ever see the Catching Hell 30 for 30?
Oh, yes.
Where Wayne Drace from ESPN actually saw him one night.
Right.
And Steve said thank you, but no.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it. And he just basically went into hiding. Yeah. I mean, he did, which is interesting.
I wonder how many times he gets noticed. Like, has he had to actually change his appearance?
Isn't that crazy?
I think he lives in it. Does he live in Chicago still?
I thought he lived in one of these suburbs or something for a while, and then I think he did. I think he moved out of the state, which who wouldn't move out of Illinois right now?
Mike Matheny has been to a World Series.
Yeah, he's been.
Been to a couple league championship series.
Right. Did he win one as a player? I don't think he did.
Well, he was here. Was he here? He was not here in 06.
No. So Matheny. You know what? That's what you get for being so good looking.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you get.
Something terrible has to happen to you. Like you're $1 million manager who only wins a bunch of games but doesn't win the World Series.
Like John Lackey. John Lackey's the ugliest human being alive, and that's why he's won 3 World Series. Like the good Lord was like, I've made him so ugly that I'm going to...
How do you explain Chris Bryant?
Well, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes there's no answers for it.
All right, Ricky Smalling in camp? Were you worried, even when we said don't worry, or
once Lovey,
Lovey said it,
don't worry, and I read your article on that on Illini Inquirer.
Where's that?
.com. Once I read that article, I calmed down, but at first I was a little concerned.
Sure.
I'm like, because it was just one of those like, please don't tell me that this kid,
the top kid in the class, and most people talk about
that all of a sudden we're not going to have him. And even if it's a misstep for a season, you know how that goes. Mm-hmm. A lot of times those never pan out.
Right.
So it was one of those where I was a little scared because I want to see him on the field.
He's a big part of this season.
I can't wait to watch him. I really honestly can't. Speaking of Bartman, we've got a quick call to the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line. Jeremy wants to talk about Bartman.
Hey.
How you doing, Jeremy?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy.
Good. So I can fill you in on a little info that I know of. Bartman still is in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
Good for him.
My cousin works with him.
Jeremy,
I shares
thought
a cubicle.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do the old my cousin's wife's nephew's aunt's uncle's brother. No, so he shares a cubicle with him.
Yeah. So I called BS when he told me that. I said, you need to send me a picture. Send me a picture of an email from him or something along those lines, just so, to validate his story. He said if he does any of those, it could be filed as harassment.
Wow.
And people have been fired before.
So does he go by Steve and Barton?
He does. He still goes by his name from what he tells me.
Okay.
So when he sends out the emails for, contact information and things of that nature, it's got his office line. He's also asked coworkers to pick him up to go to different functions. And when the coworkers jump to it. Yeah, we'll give you a ride where you want to go. Give us your address. They give him an address to like an abandoned parking lot.
Wow.
And he'll be just standing out in the middle of nowhere.
Isn't that amazing?
That's sad.
That's incredibly
Crazy.
sad. Jeremy, thanks for that update, man.
Yeah, no problem. And once I get some info, if I get a picture of his ring or anything,
we want to
I'll
see
send it to you guys.
That is awesome, man. That is great.
You know what's great about this?
What's that?
Jeremy could be full of crap right now.
Right. We have no idea.
But that is a great story.
That would just add to the intrigue.
Yeah, that would. Because, hey, people are, at least people are trying to protect them a little bit,
Absolutely.
seems like.
Absolutely.
But, man,
about that.
Can you imagine having to go through all that stuff just to do your life?
Because you did exactly what everybody else would do.
The guy right next to him tried for that ball harder.
Yes. That's exactly right. I mean, you did exactly what? Let's put a percentage. 60%. Some people shy away from a foul ball because they don't want to get hit. 60% of the people would be reaching, trying to grab that ball.
Lon will ask Derek Piper what he's asked me a lot with football, only this for basketball. Is it time to freak out?
Is it time to freak out? And are there any Indiana kids coming?
Well, there's one visiting this weekend we'll talk
that.
about. Derek Piper talking Illini basketball recruiting next.
It is the Tay and J Show. Steve Bartman.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Co-sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There is more to me, Queen Eliara of Elfgard, than my elven magic. Just as there's more to Geico than saving you money, Geico also gives you 24/7 access to licensed agents online, on the phone, or on the Geico app. And while I am a mighty elf queen, I am also a mighty big fan of barbecue potato chips. Minions! More smoky mesquite.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are the Fighting Illini. We respect our past, but we represent the future. And now is the time to fight. We're gonna get knocked down, but we will always fight. We will always be the Fighting Illini. Hail to the Orange. Score with the Touchdown Mobile Pass and get seats for all 7 Fighting Illini football home games for only $99. Call 1-866-ILLINI-1 or visit fightingillini.com today.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
And Lisa Brady, citing a staggering amount of classified leaks.
These disclosures have resulted in a major threat to our national security.
The Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates, joining the U.S. Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, in a promise to go after the leakers. Fox's Jared Halpern is live in Washington.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions is warning would-be leakers investigations are ramping up and could include reviewing guidelines to subpoena reporters and news agencies.
We respect the important role that the press plays and will give them respect, but it is not unlimited. They cannot place lives at risk with impunity.
Sessions says the Justice Department has more than tripled the number of active leaks investigations since January and promising more prosecutions to what he calls a culture of leaks. Lisa.
Meantime, Jared, Capitol Hill is like a ghost town. Congress now on August break, due to return in September to a full plate of top issues, including tax reform, the debt ceiling, and health care. And President Trump has left D.C. too, beginning a 17-day vacation at his golf course in New Jersey. They're really glad to have power back at two popular vacation spots in North Carolina. Fox's Evan Brown.
It's been 7 days since a construction crew accidentally sliced an underground cable cutting electric service for North Carolina's Outer Banks, sending 60,000 tourists home.
Needless to say, a big blow to the businesses on Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands.
A few of those businesses have filed lawsuits against that construction company, claiming big losses during their peak season.
That crew was working on a new bridge between the islands. 8 records in a row for the Dow, up 66 points today to 22,092. The S&P and the NASDAQ also higher. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
How does one tiny little human need all this stuff? Stroller, umbrella, buckets, shovels, blanket, changing table, jumpy gym, bouncy seat.
Okay, sweetie, can you open the back?
Sure. I'm not holding anything with my foot.
Hands-free foot-activated liftgate. Available on the 2017 Ford Escape lets you load up without putting anything down.
Wait, isn't the jumpy gym and a bouncy seat the same thing?
Totally different. Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Hurry and get our hottest offer, 0% financing for 72 months on select Ford Fusion, Escape, Edge, and Explorer models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends August 22nd. Best selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade Assist cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by August 22nd, 2017.
President Trump says he's only just begun promising to end more job-stifling regulations while praising the new jobs report.
The Labor Department says 209,000 new jobs were created in July, thousands more than forecast. The unemployment rate declined to 4.3%, matching May, which was the lowest rate in 16 years.
Fox's Ginny Cosola, a former manager for Volkswagen's engineering lab in suburban Detroit, becomes the second VW employee to plead guilty for emissions cheating. 48-year-old Oliver Schmidt accused of telling regulators technical problems were to blame for the difference in emissions in road and lab tests. He claims the VW management directed him not to disclose cheating software. He's been accused of price gouging on a life-saving drug, yelled at by Congress and vilified on social media. But the trial of former pharmaceutical chief Martin Shkreli was for unrelated accusations of securities fraud. And after 5 days of deliberations, a federal jury reaches a split verdict, not guilty on 5 counts, guilty on 3.
This was a witch hunt of epic proportions, and maybe they found 1 or 2 broomsticks, but at the end of the day, we've been acquitted of the most important charges in this case, and I'm delighted to report that.
Shkreli could still face years in prison. He denies cheating investors in 2 failed hedge funds. Even the stars aren't sure why it's so popular.
That's no shark.
just when you thought it was safe to turn on the TV. Sharknado 5, Global Swarming, airs this Sunday as Ian Ziering and his chainsaw are once again having to fend off giant swarming tornadoes of sharks. This installment, filmed in Europe, Asia, and Australia, includes cameos by Olivia Newton-John, her daughter Chloe. Tara Reid is back, as is Bret Michaels.
Oh my God, I just killed Bret Michaels!
At least for a time.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Fabio plays the Pope in New York. I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, cloudy, low of 55. Saturday, mostly overcast, high 80, low of 62. Sunday, rain, high 71, a low of 60. Right now, cloudy and cool, 68 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
It is time to celebrate, everyone. The Washington Nationals have knocked off the Chicago Cubs, and your St. Louis Cardinals can creep within, I think, 3.5 tonight.
That's right. That's what Austin and I were talking about. I mean, you have these 3-game losing streaks.
Crazy.
You're not going to be able to run away from the Brewers and Cardinals.
All the Cardinals have to do is hit yesterday. They'd be 3.5. They'd get a chance to hit 2.5 today. But Mike Leake is 0-4 against the Cincinnati Reds, so I doubt it happens tonight. All right, Tay and J Show, Lonte, Jeremy Warner. Sorry, Cubs fans, I'm ripping on you. We've got a guy in studio that is proudly wearing a Chicago Bears hat.
I didn't say proudly.
Flat bill and all. I like it. Derek Piper joining us, IlliniInquirer.com. Nice.
So, Mitch Trubisky, you excited?
No. Not really.
You're not?
Not exactly, particularly, but the hat looks good.
It does. I do like the hat.
And we haven't lost yet, so
okay.
I'm cool with that.
You guys
quickly.
Still favorites to win that division, I heard.
Is that right?
Is it called the North now?
Aaron Rodgers retire?
Right.
Did Matt Stafford retire?
You think Tom Brady's going to be 40 years old?
He is 40.
He is 40.
Turned 40 yesterday.
Aaron Rodgers will probably play, same deal. He'll probably be 45 years old, and you guys will be sitting there going, really? You're still playing?
We did that with Favre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
I mean, ever since Derek and I have basically been conscious of the world,
the
Packers have had an all-time great quarterback.
Conscious of the world.
That's right.
That.
I mean, 1992 is when he got there in 93, right?
Isn't that unreal?
And ever
Jim
since
Miller one year. That was pretty good.
Oh, Jim Miller.
Remember Marcus Robinson?
Oh,
he was fun that year.
The one time I've been to Soldier Field, we're walking by McCormick Place where everybody's tailgating, and I'm walking by in my Jake Plummer jersey. And we go by a group of like 12 guys heavily drinking beer. And they've all got their Bears gear on, and my brother's like, Lon, just shut up. Just keep walking, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. So we get about 10 feet past, this guy goes, Jake Plummer? And I'm like, and Lance is like, don't. And I, like 5 feet later, I turn around, I'm like, Jim Miller? And the other 11 guys start busting out laughing. I'm like, whoo! I'm like, just run away before we get beat up.
We rarely do this, but we want to make sure anybody that's traveling, we got a text from Nathan. RV on fire on eastbound I-74.
Yikes.
Traffic completely stopped. Probably should go around if possible. Okay. So again, an RV on fire on I-74 eastbound. Traffic completely stopped.
Fair enough.
So,
all right, we got Derek Piper in studio. We're going to talk some basketball. I said the other day to Jeremy, this Zion Griffin kid is messing me up because I feel like he's a school. Like, he's Mount Zion and Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin or something. Right. This kid, is it fair to say he's Mark Smithing a little bit? Like, we didn't know much about him, and now he's coming on like he just a banshee.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Smith kind of set the standard for that, didn't he? And all of a sudden, this guy goes into July without any high major looks whatsoever. A lot of people in the state didn't even know who he was, and all of a sudden, Joe Hendrickson, really highly respected up in Chicago, says he's number 3 in the state, and he put up 30 points on a regular basis in July. Really impressed Illinois, especially in St. Louis during the second period, did it again in Kansas City, and finally on the last game, 35 points for Jamal Walker. Illinois just had to offer.
Yeah,
and 6'5", he's strong. He's a lefty, which you love.
Oh yeah,
and he's been playing in the post most of his high school career. Now he got to transition to the outside perimeter. He's shooting the 3 pretty well. Illinois is pretty darn high on him right now.
I mean, is he exactly what Brad Underwood wants in that kind of a player?
Yeah,
for his system.
It's kind of similar to THT in terms of strength, toughness, ability to create your own shot and then shoot from the outside. He likes dogs, and that's definitely what he is.
Yeah, Taylor Horton-Tucker, by the way, and Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com. Griffin here this weekend. This is one of his first big visits, I believe. So what do you make of this race? Who's involved, and how high of a priority is Zion Griffin?
Yeah, the big offers for him right now are Illinois and Iowa State, and he went to Iowa State earlier this week. And obviously here in Champaign today, I think Illinois is pressing them pretty good. I know that they have maybe some higher priorities on the wing when you think about Landers Nolly and Taylor Horton-Tucker and Iggy up in Canada, but this is a guy that they really, really like. They don't want to miss out on an opportunity to position themselves really well. And they might try to close it. I don't know if it would happen today, but maybe if they come on really strong, maybe they get an official visit here in a couple weeks, and that would put them in position maybe to be your first commit in the class.
This state, even though Tim Finke's kind of gone down some people's lists, the state's gotten a little stronger, it feels like, with prospects, with Condit. THT it seems like he's really made himself a top 100 player, and now you get Zion Griffin into the fold. The state's gotten a little stronger, it seems like, with prospects. Even you can throw Tamel Pearson in there, who's got at least a high major offer or two.
Yeah, it definitely has. The state was pretty weak early on, and I think that Io is who dropped in scout to a 4-star, really solidified himself probably as a 5-star. I think in the next rankings, like you said, Taylor Horton-Tucker had a huge month, maybe one of the hottest names in the Midwest. Zion Griffin now is blowing up. You mentioned Tim dropping a little bit, which he definitely did, but George Condit, as you said, is really rising, really intriguing prospect. If you have to think about what he can be in 3 years, a lot of people are definitely intrigued with that.
We talked a lot about Finke and Taylor Horton-Tucker, the fact that you're probably not going to get both of those. They kind of essentially play the same. Is Zion Griffin kind of the same deal? In other words, if he would commit to Illinois, would that pretty much take you out of maybe even the other two?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the one thing you like with Brad Underwood's system is that there's not a lot of difference 2 through 4. They're all wings. They're all versatile. He wants guys that can defend, guys that are strong, guys that can play inside and out. And I think that you can never have too many players like that. So I think if you were to get Zion Griffin, you still go hard after THT, although you might want to trend towards pushing hard for Landers Nolly, who's just a pure shooter, which is something they also want.
Ooh. There's an Indiana kid that's opening on campus on Saturday. Aaron Henry, big offer list for Aaron Henry. What do you make of this visit and this prospect?
They're really trying to get in good with him, and his only big offer going into July was Butler, the hometown school for him, and he's athletic. He's from Indiana, and he's also a lefty.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's 6'6". He's really strong. He won a state title last year. A lot of people I've talked to in Indianapolis are wondering why it took this long for people to get in on him.
Wow.
So in July, got offers from Indiana, Illinois, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Xavier.
Woo.
He's got
a good month.
That's a pretty good month, right? Coming to Champaign tomorrow. Jamal Walker's really been on him hard. Ohio State and Xavier, a visit he'll take later this month. He's already said that he's going to take an official to Michigan State. He played for Team Harris, Gary Harris.
Got it.
So a little bit of a hook there from Michigan State. So I think they're in pretty good.
Lon was asking this a little bit. I don't think he's freaking out yet.
No.
But
not quite.
Where are we at timeline-wise? Because the visits are starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. We were talking with Joe about this. There's not as big of a rush to commit with a lot of these kids, it seems like. And it seems like some of these kids, like Henry and Griffin and Pearson and Condit, are really just starting to gain momentum late in the class. Why is this dynamic kind of happen where there's so many uncommitted prospects, it seems like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that a lot of people have asked me about how many risers there are in this class, and I was talking to a coach about it, and they said, well, there's not a huge separation in that middle, as you say, middle class of this group. The top group, obviously a lot of elite talent, maybe 1 through 25. After that, there's a little bit of a drop-off. A lot of guys that can help your program, but maybe not a ton of separation. So guys are still adding offers. Programs are still searching out and seeking new guys to add to their board. So there's not a huge rush, and really you don't have to. You can kind of wait, take your time, decide where you want to visit, and there's still plenty of time between now and November for the signing period. So,
and for me, why not take visits?
Right.
Get those visits paid for.
I'm
enjoy
going to
it a little
Hawaii
bit.
every time. I'm scheduling a visit to Hawaii. Why not, right? All right, Derek Piper, our guest, IlliniInquirer.com. Follow him on Twitter at DPiperScout. I'm going to put you in. You get an all-star class.
Okay.
So they don't have to be the best players. I know Iowa's going to be on there. Give me what every Illinois fan would wake up the next day and crave out of this class. 3 guys, right? If you could pick the 3,
we might
maybe
say 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could give me the 4 perfect class for Brad Underwood in this first class, who would they be?
Oh, man. We'll go with Io, obviously, first. Really the difference maker.
That is the correct answer, I believe.
At lead guard to put in the backcourt with Mark Smith and Trent Frazier. You've got a good pick on the wing. I think I'll go with Taylor Horton-Tucker. I like his game that much, his versatility, his strength. And then I'll pair him with Iggy up in Canada. He kind of reminds me of Nick Stauskas. Maybe just more of a dog.
And a Canadian.
And, Brad Underwood and Chen Coleman are working that one really, really hard.
Okay.
I know it looked in the spring and maybe even in June that Illinois was working hard, treading water, not really going anywhere. Now, all of a sudden, they might get an official visit.
So you're telling me I got a coach who can coach like, John Beilein, and now I get a player John Beilein wants on his team.
Right.
That would be, for me, anyway.
He's not left-handed, is he?
Yeah. Okay, so who's your fourth guy?
He is
Iggy is left-handed, yeah. We got quite a bit of lefties in this class.
My goodness.
We need a cold bath in here.
And we'll close it down with...
Somebody give me a beer. Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah. Number 4, right. Well, that was quick, Lon. All right, number 4.
Number 4, Silvio De Souza.
Okay.
Monster. Down low, down in Florida. Orlando Antigua has worked that one really, really hard. And that's another one where it didn't really look like Illinois was making a lot of progress. All of a sudden, Louisville may not be as strong, kind of playing second fiddle to Maryland, who has the Under Armour connection. He played on the Under Armour circuit. They've worked him really hard, but they're also going after a 5-star center. So if you're able to bring him in, he's an impact-ready big guy right away, really good athlete. And one coach told me he's built like Zeus.
Wow.
So...
I'd be fine with that.
We'll go Io, we'll go Iggy, THT, Silvio De Souza.
I like it, man.
That's a pretty thing.
That would be a really good class.
The one thing about Brad Underwood's staff, Derek, and we're talking with Derek Piper on Inquirer.com, is there's a lot of offers out there.
Oh.
Yes.
What do you make of how the staff's approaching that and what that'll mean for them as they go into the fall semester here?
Well, you got to give yourself options, and I think that in the spring especially, they wanted to find guys they thought were just good enough to play here and fit the system, and guys that Brad identified as I could see him playing here. So now it's really been about the last month or so has been about prioritizing those guys and having some different tiers. I have an article on IlliniInquirer.com for the tiers in this class.
Well done.
Tier 1, Tier 2. So you obviously go really hard after the guys in Tier 1. Tier 2, maybe some backup options, maybe some guys you slate later, maybe in September, October for official visits if you're not able to get the other guys. So it's focusing in on your prime targets, having some fallbacks, just so you don't go without filling a need.
You talked with Kipper Nichols, and we heard from...
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we heard from Brad Underwood yesterday. What'd you take away from Brad Underwood's press conference yesterday, where he talked a lot about the schedule, which he doesn't think is strong enough, and I think we all would agree with isn't strong enough, that he wants to up that. But what'd you make of his wrap-up of the summer?
Yeah, he said it was a great summer, and I've been talking to people around the program, said, man, even guys that have been there through coaching changes, this is about as hard as a coach has pushed those guys over in that building in a long, long time. So some of those guys are ready to go home, rest their bodies a little bit. I asked Kip what his favorite part of the summer was. He said the last skill workout when I knew I was done.
Hey, at least he's honest.
He hasn't gone home since the end of the spring semester. Wow. So that kind of shows you a lot of those guys have really committed, really bought in. And as Kip said, with the culture, there's kind of a swagger. And same thing with Brad Underwood. He brings a swagger. They expect to win over there. It's been a really exciting summer. Obviously, a lot of uncertainty, but there's some excitement in that building.
Yeah, I mean, these are young. This is going to be a young team, an experienced team. The one guy I'm excited to see make his impact the next couple of years is Adam Fletcher, the strength coach.
I was seeing those individual pictures of those kids.
You're starting to see it with Joey Bose on the football side. That position means so much to a program.
Huge. And
we don't talk about it enough with basketball, but we saw that team, number one, was pretty healthy last year. And they weren't under the previous strength coach. The same thing with football. They weren't healthy. under the previous strength coach. So I think that's important, but also the gains they're making, cutting down body fat and increasing their athleticism. That'll be fun to watch the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Fletch is elite in his position, obviously. You see the pictures this summer and last summer. I'm going to stop eating French toast because apparently that's, if you look at DeMonte, you get those Ninja Turtle abs, apparently. So, yeah, just the way he's able to, pack on muscle and really they don't even have to add weight. It's really just transforming those bodies, staying healthy, like you said.
Right.
And you even see it in recruiting. They use that big time when you look at big guys, especially guys that need to pack on pounds and say, this is what we think you can be in 2 years with Fletch. And they have the pictures and the results to show you. So he's a major, major asset, and you just look and see what he's able to do so far.
The local kid, Tim Finke, I wanted to ask you about him. What in the best case scenario, what can he do next? Big high school season? Are there still? I mean, obviously, probably not because school's getting ready to start. Is that kind of where he's at right now, and in terms of trying to get back to the level he was in terms of what teams wanting him, basically?
Yeah, I mean, a guy that start of his junior season was top 25 in our rankings, still in the top 100, probably going to fall out now. It'll be interesting because I think that obviously teams will miss on targets that they have. So maybe they'll, as they get close to the signing period, maybe they start warming up to him now, thinking about, him versus not having a guy. Right. Same thing, though, when you think about a guy like Mark Smith, you think about other guys that play through the spring, the options that they have, they play through their high school season. It's a big risk in case you get hurt or don't have a good showing.
Sure.
But at the same time, teams get desperate. Teams have needs after the season where maybe he can have a good slate of options. Maybe he can show that he's, fixed some of the things that are wrong with his game. So I think that's an option. But at the same time, maybe some guys miss on their top-tier targets and maybe he falls to somebody.
The picture the other day, and I believe it was on your website, with Lovie Smith and Brad Underwood standing next to each other. And I just had this moment of, wouldn't that be awesome in 3 or 4 years if both those guys were winning at a high level?
It's Josh Whitman's idea, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to see that for sure. Derek Piper, IlliniInquirer.com, always brings the goods at D Piper Scouts.
And you did not let Juan take your head off.
No.
Because he threw a rise ball.
Man, that thing
I was going to mention that. That was crazy.
What is it, a little football you're throwing?
It's the little football, so I'm doing fast pitch softball, but that football automatic, I don't know how to throw a rise ball, but that thing just rises.
Well, I thought you were going to give me the Brett Favre and just chuck it regular as fast as possible. I was like, okay, this might be all right, but then he goes softball style.
I almost took his head off.
You got some velocity behind that arm.
Are you ready to try one more?
Why aren't you playing in some league?
Oh, no.
Like that, man?
Because if Brad Sturdy were here, he'd throw you back about 30 feet with his. It's incredible. Derek, we always appreciate you coming in.
Always fun, guys.
Thanks, well done on the Bears hat, too. It is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Sean Farnham and Willie Colon.
Ryan Tannehill partially tore his ACL in Week 14 last season, went down in a non-contact play during Thursday's practice, and the Dolphins now fear he will need season-ending knee surgery. Last year, the Dolphins' backup Matt Moore had the third best total QBR during the final 4 weeks of the season while filling in for Tannehill. What's your thoughts on the Tannehill situation?
It's tough. I felt like he should have had the surgery last year. Now that he's, now it looks like he has to have it now. If you look at the play, all he was just putting the brakes on his scramble, and it just went on him. The ACL is a tough injury. It takes about a year, so I can understand why he's done right now. But for a replacement, I would love to see Colin Kaepernick get this shot. I think Stephen Ross is an open-minded owner. He believes in social issues and handling them. And I think it would be a great fit for Colin Kaepernick.
Guys, get to JCPenney's biggest sale of the season. Find great brands like Levi's 502 regular fit jeans for $39.99. Or get 25% off select styles of Nike tees, shorts, shoes, and backpacks. Also, check out our great selection of men's big and tall sizes. And download the JCPenney app for even more savings. Hurry, the biggest sale of the season ends Saturday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. See store or jcp.com for details. Season refers to 6/19 to 8/5.
At 6 a.m., 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Go to GilletteOnDemand.com and get your fourth order free. Gillette, the best a man can get.
DP Dough is the original calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items, from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat-screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Co-sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Awesome Machines Sales and Rental wants you to take charge of your yard with Toro. Toro has the quality you expect and dependability you deserve from your lawn equipment. Awesome Machines and Toro has the right machine to keep you inside and cool this summer season. With push mowers starting as low as $269 and zero turns starting as low as $22.99 with 0% financing available. Simply awesome. Awesome Machines Sales and Rental, Route 45 in Savoy, Route 36 in Tuscola, and online at awesomemachines.net.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Breaking news, Jeremy Werner has left the building.
This is, I feel like I'm playing hockey right now. With
right.
Different lines right now. I'm playing with Lon. I'm playing with Jeremy. I mean, I feel like a hockey player right now.
Here, this is my desperate, this is how much I don't want to lose Jeremy as my partner. It's a desperation mode to try to win you on my team so that he finally gets upset and just says, okay, I won't move my show. I won't go do another show. I'll just stay on the Tay and J Show. So this is what we're doing. So I've got maybe 20 minutes essentially to recruit you to my team. Is that fair? Can I do it?
I don't think that's fair.
Okay, you better not. You better stay on that. I cannot wait for all of this to take place.
Yeah, I know. August 21st. That's the big day. Jeremy Werner Show, 9 to 11, and then Carp and Tay from 4 to 6.
4 to 6. I'm excited for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Carp because Carp has done so much here.
Oh, yeah.
And he deserves that spot to be a headliner. And you have done so much behind the scenes and, of course, now more on radio. So it's awesome for you, and it's great for Jeremy and I both personally, with me only doing a 2-hour show, more time in the office, and Jeremy, of course, can focus more on his family and also his website, which is huge for him. That's his real job. Like I have my real job, and we just do these hobbies.
It'll be nice. He'll be in studio on Mondays a lot of times, so
that's
I'll
cool.
be able to see him some. So that'll be great.
That's the funny thing is none of us are going to see Jeremy anymore.
Except me on Mondays.
Except for you on Mondays.
Yes.
I'll have to come up on Mondays once in a while just to say hi.
I mean, we'll need some guests.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know a producer that can help you get on.
I can't wait to get the first. I think I'm going to be his first guest.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And I would love for him to do the same on our show. I think that it just makes all the sense. But I cannot wait to maybe, let's say, a month or two down the road, I get this text from Austin about 7 o'clock at night. Hey, can you join us about 9:20? And my text back is going to be hell no.
Like, that's what I'm going to do.
I'll be like, well, Jeremy, Lon said no, so he's big timing us.
Right. He's saying that he's got some appointment or something he can't join. No, but I'm excited for all of that, and I think for listeners in Central Illinois and everybody that podcasts or listens on the stream all over the country and the world, really. I mean, we do have a couple that have listened.
Costa Rica is our big out-of-country.
That's awesome.
Because I think a lot of U of I and Parkland students go there, so they need to get their Illini fix in Costa Rica.
Well, and Lucy, I think you met Lucy from Brazil.
Oh, yeah?
Her and Denise, they watch our YouTube stream.
Oh, wow.
From Brazil. From Aracatuba, Brazil.
How's it going?
And Sao Paulo. So, yeah, we got them all over. But I think it's going to be a good thing for everybody involved. It'll be a content-driven show for Jeremy from 9 to 11. A lot of Illinois. I can't wait to listen to it. And then Carp and I are going to have a lot of content, I feel.
Yeah.
But we're also going to still be Carp and Lon. And that means sometimes you don't want to know what's going to happen.
I mean, our show isn't just going to be straight content.
No. I know.
We're going to have some movie reviews and
There's
everything.
No doubt.
So much to the chagrin of the stick to sports people.
Right.
We're gonna have some.
No,
fun.
I can't wait. I think it's going to give you a chance. It's also going to expand and give Harry and Trevor more time on Carp and or Tay and Carp. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Give it some time. I always say when new people move in to do TV. Like a new guy will do sports or weather on a station, and everybody within the first one or two times they've seen he or her immediately makes a judgment. And I'm like, just let them be on there for a month and see if they grow on you.
But at least in our situation, there's nobody new
That's
coming
correct.
in.
That's
so
correct.
At least it's just the same faces, just in different roles.
Everybody's heard us. So, all right, coming up, we're going to have interviews. Jeremy Warner got these with IlliniInquirer.com with Hardy Nickerson, Andrew Hayes-Stoker, and Bob Ligashevsky. Ligashevsky. Oh, man, it's just a hard one to say. It's Ligashesky.
Ligashevsky? Who is right?
Ligashevsky.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am saying it right. So he's the special teams. We're going to hear from all three of the coaches coming up. But, of course, Austin, I almost called you Jeremy. You have an update.
Yes.
And it's a good one because the Cubs lost! The Cubs lost! Yes!
Thank you for the spoiler alert, Lon. Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 4:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent Sean Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change a subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent Sean Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. The Illini have their eyes locked deep in the heart of Texas tonight when four-star defensive lineman Calvin Avery from Bishop Dunn High School in Dallas makes his college decision. Avery has a top 5 of Colorado, Illinois, Oklahoma, Texas Christian, and USC. The commitment news should come out around 5:45. In other Illini football news, Ricky Smalling, the 4-star wide receiver out of Brother Rice, has officially hit the practice field.
That's awesome.
So Illini fans can breathe easy now.
Right.
Jaquan Lyle, the former Ohio State Buckeye, now has transferred to New Mexico. Lyle was a 5-star recruit back in the class of 2015 when the Illini were interested in him. The Cubs have fallen their past 3 games now to the Diamondbacks and now the Nationals. They were back at Cool Wrigley Field against Tanner Roark, and they lost 4-2 with Daniel Murphy going deep twice.
Harry is showing you the L instead of the W. I love it. You have to run in here behind me so the YouTubers can see this as Austin closes out his... This is fantastic.
Addison Russell did go to the 10-day DL with a right foot strain. Relief pitcher Rob Zastryzny is called up while Adder recovers.
Yes!
The Cardinals play the Reds tonight. It's not like the Cardinals have done any better. In the pitching matchup is Mike Leake, who is 0 for 4 against the Cincinnati Reds, taking on Asher Wojciechowski.
Whoever that is.
Carson Kelly is taking over for Yadi Melita tonight. So, Yadi, please get on Instagram tonight. I want to retweet that all. And that, my friends, is the update.
I may have to join Instagram just for the Yadi Melina. All right, so you're going to get the interviews ready while I'm reading to you about Busey. Understanding the basics of budgeting, saving, and monitoring money doesn't always mean you're in control of your spending. There are reasons why you break your budget, and according to Busey, here's a few of them. Forgetting the future. You leave emergency savings for emergencies only. Instead, make room in your budget for discretionary expenses. You're rewarding yourself too often. That's right, people. Scale back on impulse purchases like those cherry sours I bought the other day. Those were good, though.
Yeah, I switched mics. Sorry about that, Lon.
No, that's fine. I got you back. And save money ahead of time. Also, mixing mood with money. Spend money when you're happy and positive, when it's easier to remember long-term financial goals. Manage your finances whenever you want, wherever you are with Busey's mobile and online services. They have the Busey mobile app. They have the Busey Text, Finance Works, and also the Busey Bill Payment. You can see and pay all your bills online. No more checks to write or postage to buy. Regain control of your finances with Busey. Visit Busey.com, call 1-800-67-BUSEY, or stop by one of their many convenient locations today. Busey, member FDIC. I'm member. Oh, yeah. Little smash mouth, huh? All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon, Tay, Austin, Berkland. Harry, what was the other one, 24 you wanted me to play? You want to try this?
Yeah, let's go for it right now.
It's always interesting when we go with Harry.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Harry Black sometimes gets in here and I don't know, does he have a key?
No.
How does he get in here?
He just sneaks into the production studio and then just goes right in for it.
And he starts changing our music. So here's his new one, 24, another Harry Black production. Whoa, you fooled me on this one.
Pearl Jam, right?
Yes.
Big Cub fan.
Yeah?
So let's not forget that, Harry.
What's his name? Eddie Vedder?
Eddie Vedder, yeah. He's in those Brizzo commercials.
Oh, that's right. Let me hear a little bit of this. This was, Jeremy and I talk about this all the time. This era of music that Pearl Jam kind of helped start. Oh, I just hoping they were singing. Got a little story to tell. Something. I don't know the words. That's my bad. I do know the words. I've forgotten them. But Pearl Jam was kind of the start of that grunge, and it basically followed My Hair Nation.
Yeah.
You know, the Scorpions, the Poison, Skid Row, all that stuff. And it wasn't because of that. Like, I didn't, like, on purpose back then say, oh, you're stopping my kind of music, so I'm never going to listen to you. I just never got into grunge music. I just didn't.
Yeah, it's your lost era of music.
Yeah, exactly. And really, it was one of those where I had graduated college. I started working. So, you know, you're a little bit busier. You're not as focused maybe on stuff like that. But I do remember having that CD with what were we just talking about? With Pearl Jam. And that CD is awesome. That is awesome. And that was kind of my probably second semester of my senior year in college.
It might be on the Mount Rushmore of grunge music.
Yeah, it's a great CD. And then after that, for some reason, I just didn't get into any of the other grunge.
I mean, it's not like you were at an apartment just listening to music all day. You weren't at a bar listening to the latest music. You were working. You were doing other things rather than listening to the hair metal that you were.
I think that makes a difference. All right. What is this, day 5 of training camp for the Fighting Illini? The last couple of days, they've had some weather issues, but today I assume it's perfect. Jeremy's on his way over there. He's going to get some pictures of Ricky Smalling, who is on campus, which is awesome for the team. He had a chance, Jeremy did, to catch up with 3 coaches, Hardy Nickerson, Andrew Hayes Stoker, and Bob Ligasheshki. Let's start with Hardy Nickerson. You want to do that one?
Yes,
we'll start with Hardy Nickerson, defensive coordinator for the Fighting Illini. Hardy spoke about camp and what he's experiencing and seeing so far with this Illini group.
And here we go.
Are you the, I guess, envy of some of the other coaches? I mean, you got a deep group there, it seems like, with some experience, a little bit at least.
I guess I'm fortunate, you know. There are a lot of guys at the linebacker position, and it's fun because it creates a very competitive linebacker room, and that's what you want, because that's going to bring out the best in everybody, and it's going to bring out, you know, the guys that are going to shine.
How natural was that change for Trey to the middle?
Very natural. He played Mike last year in the spring, also in training camp. So he's played every position. So he has a very good understanding of the defense and what we want to get done. And so that all of that experience helps tremendously at the Mike linebacker position, because now you know where everybody's supposed to fit, where everybody's supposed to be, and the communication level is just at a higher level.
Does he have that natural leadership ability too? Is he taking that from Hardy?
Yeah, I think so. You know, being around Hardy last year was tremendous for him. Helped him grow as a player, and you know, having that kind of example around, made everybody better, and so I think that's helped him, and he's certainly taken off this year.
Julian Jones is a kid that's always seemed to have that physical ability. What have you seen? What growth have you seen from him to kind of get that first string reps?
He's just gotten so much more mature as a player, and he's growing. He's got the tools. He's got the physical tools to really be a difference-making type of player. So for him, it's just maturing, learning the defense, and he's done that. You can see it. His communication level on the field is very high, advanced, and that's what we need out of his position.
What do you think pushed that maturity? Was there a moment? I mean, that Michigan game stands out for me last year, but was there a moment that kind of clicked for him?
Yeah, I just think having that extra year in the system, and being around last year, getting experience last year. And then, spring ball really helped him. Spring ball, he's another guy that had an opportunity to play, a few different positions, pretty much all the linebacker positions. And when you do that, you really get a good understanding of what the overall big picture is.
Jake Hansen obviously had a strong spring. I know he had a nice year as a freshman last year. How's he doing there, and is there anybody pushing him at that position?
He's doing well, doing really well. Behind him is Jimmy Marcase right now, and then in the nickel package, there's Julian Jones and there's Justice Williams. They're guys that all those guys are really competing for some playing time, and their work so far is deserving of it. Again, that competition is making everybody better, and Jake has been tremendous. I'm excited for him to get on the field and on game day and show everybody.
How much did missing most of the spring? How did that affect Delshawn?
It's tough. When you come in mid-year, and then spring ball is right there on us right away. Those are valuable reps that he missed. So we're working hard. We're getting caught up. But it just takes reps. He's done a great job. He's been working hard, and so it just takes a little bit of time.
One guy who seems to be hurt by that is Dele Harding. He seems to make plays, shed block. I mean, what do you see out of him right now?
Dele is just he's getting all over the place. Great energy, plays hard, plays fast, tough. He's exciting to watch, and so he's having a great camp so far.
What do you see out of your true freshmen that have come here, James Knight and Mark Mondes here?
Seeing some flashes, both of the guys are dialed in and learning it and getting it down. For young guys coming in, it just takes a little bit of time, but those guys are showing that they are willing players that are going to contribute at some point.
That is Hardy Dickerson, defensive coordinator for the Fighting Illini. I was just telling you off the air, I really like Hardy Nickerson. And it's funny, my statement to you, which is false because I know he can, but I'm like, I don't know if he can coach. I don't know if he can recruit. It's still stinking cool to have Hardy Nickerson as your defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, it's all about the attitude and what he brings in publicity.
I agree, 100%. I heard him talk about Dele Hardy. That's a kid that is, came in here as a 4-star. I'm expecting big things from him, but right now it's hard to break in on that linebacker crew. There are some solid depth. There's some solid depth at that linebacker position. So will be interesting. Hopefully that can be a strength of this Fighting Illini team. Another strength we think going in, and I'm pretty positive that it will be, is the wide receiver crew.
If they can stay healthy.
And that's the likes of Mikey Dudek, of course, Ricky Smalling now, Carmani Green. You have Malik Turner, who's got an NFL body. You've got Sam Mays. Who else am I? I mean, I'm missing a couple.
Carmani Green.
I said him. Thiessen. Was it Thiessen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I need to kind of shore up my thoughts on this roster as well. But I know that this is a wide receiving crew that can go out and get some catches. And Jeremy had a chance to catch up with Andrew Hayes-Stoker, the wide receiver coach for Illinois.
Well, you got a group that you got an infusion of talent a little bit at this group. What's that meant for your group going into the training camp?
We've got some guys that have come in and made a few plays, which is good. It sparks the older guys. And then, I think the room's a little bit more competitive than it was last year. And we got Zach Grant as a GA. Maybe he's in a better role there.
So what's Malik Turner? Obviously, he's the leader of that group, and then you get Mikey Dudek. What kind of energy is Mikey's return brought?
I think Mikey. He's had such a great effect on Malik. Every one of those guys in that room has known what kind of adversity Mikey's gone through. They want him to do well, and they know that he's a guy that can make plays. It takes pressure off of them, and they believe in him. So having him back, everybody's just cheering for him. Everybody wants him to do so well,
With some of these freshmen coming in, a veteran like Sam Mays can kind of get overlooked, but this is kind of a big year for him, big opportunity, isn't it?
Honestly, I expect big things out of Sam. I think Sam's got talent. I think he's got ability. I think this is a year that he needs to come out of his shell and show everybody exactly how talented he is. Anything less than that is going to be less than my expectation and less than his talent level, really.
So, what have you seen from him in the past, and what's he got to do to live up to those expectations?
I think I've seen more urgency from him this fall camp. That's exactly the thing that I've been talking to him about for a year now, or a year and a half, 1 year now at this point. And, he's made some of the plays that he hasn't in the past. Now we need the consistency. Lovey will talk about being consistently good. You don't always have to be great to win every game, but you got to be consistent. You got to win more than you're losing, and we got to know what to expect from you when you get out there. And we got to know that you're going to battle your butt off for the university.
What's he do well? What's he bring to the field?
Believe it or not, for a big, long guy like that, he can work at the line of scrimmage, and he's got range. Obviously, that's the number one thing. He's got range and he's got deceptive speed. So he's got those tools right there, and he's got some ability and some smarts about him on the field. So,
I'll talk about the freshmen, but Dominic Thiemann, Trenard Davis, maybe guys who get overlooked again.
Trenard is a guy that, honestly, I had him in the spring last year, and I thought there's no way that this guy's going to play receiver. And he's a guy that over the summer he's worked his butt off. And he's come into this fall camp, and he's shown the ability that, hey, he's going to go compete for the ball when it's up. We got some fundamental things to clean up in the run game, just get him understanding the entire system as far as being a perimeter guy. But Trenard has been a pleasant surprise this fall.
How about Dominic Thiemann?
Dom's been great. Dom obviously had the ankle late last year, was kind of feeling his way around as a freshman. He's more comfortable. I think the more comfortable Dom gets, the better he's going to play. And I think people will see that he's got the ability to make plays. He's another guy that consistency is something that we preach about. Consistency is huge for that group right now.
What did the spring do for Carmani?
I think the spring was huge. I think without the spring right now, he'd really be struggling. Spring acclimated him here to a new environment, new climate, totally new geographic region for him, and a new set of friends, being away from his comfort zone. He's still a freshman. And he's still acclimating at this point. But I think the spring gave him a head start that you couldn't ask for anything more for a guy like that.
Given the guys he signed with, I think Kendall gets overlooked as well. And has he surprised you? I think some people who came here might be surprised by some of the plays he's making.
Yes, he's been a pleasant surprise. I didn't know that he would come in with that much authority and come in, that confident that he can make plays. He believes in his ability. Kendall's got excellent hands. Kendall can make a play on the ball when the ball's up. On plays that are off schedule where the quarterback is scrambling and he's in the flat, or if he's deep and the ball's in the air, he can go make a play on it. And that's been impressive. He's got that ability. You can work with him.
Yeah, so you get a new quarterback, whoever it is, but how do your receivers, how do they need to help him?
They need to be where they're supposed to be. They need to run the route the way that the quarterback is expecting them to run the route. And they need to be on the right landmarks. And they need to be there in a timely fashion. So if they're not, then it's going to make it more difficult on them too.
Andrew Hayes-Stoker hoping for a big year out of his wide receiver crew.
Yeah,
needed.
Ricky Smalling is going to be a welcome addition, a guy that can just make
It's another day.
Whoa, now.
Bob returns after helping the Franklins.
That is interesting. I don't know why.
Hey, Bob,
that
how's it
happened.
going?
I feel bad.
Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? Hold on a second,
one.
Bob. All right, we're taking that down. We got Cardinal baseball coming up soon. Don't forget that. We want to, before we get out of here, listen to Bob Ligashevsky. He is the special teams coach for the Fighting Illini. Jeremy was able to talk to him the other day at practice as well. So here's the interview with Bob Ligashevsky.
Field lines, So this is kind of like the first time for him learning up in the punt formation. So it's everything he does is the first time for him, and it's kind of fun being around that.
Is this a fun challenge for you to approach this? I mean, this is kind of a big mold of clay for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is fun because he's so just open to everything and enthusiastic and talented. But he is consistent in what he's doing, and he's a talented young man, both on and off the football field. He has a strong leg. It's just getting him the experience in the actual plays. And we're trying to do that both on and off the field through video, just pulling examples of guys that have been there before, where he's from, in those situations. The kid from North Carolina, so it's kind of similar to him. And then trying to create those situations in practice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that program's produced a lot of good punters. I mean, just the Ray Guy Award, some NFL guys. What did you hear? I mean, how did he become the guy for you?
Yeah, the guy that runs the Pro Kick Australia, he's friends with Rick Sang that runs the Pro Kick over here, and I've been able to have some interact. Me and Rick were together a long time ago, and then Andy Lee, when I was at Pitt, was with him. Pro Kick, and had a lot of success, and so Rick's been a good source for us, and then Nathan Chapman that runs the program over there is just his background. I mean, it's just you see all the guys that he's produced and developed, to validate what he's doing over there, and we were just fortunate that we were able to have an opportunity to recruit one of those guys.
What can you tell about his leg talent?
He has a strong leg. I think, it's evident right there. It's just a matter of him getting used to doing those things in our scheme and experience in those situations. Yeah.
A tight end, you got a lot of guys there. You got to throw them all out there because, I mean, do you have any you can trust yet? Any you can count on?
I think they're all doing a good job. They're good, smart guys. It's just, they're young and their effort's good. They know what to do. It's just executing it, at game speed for them. That's just going to keep, I think, them developing.
You got some guys you moved from other positions. What's the challenge there, getting those guys up to speed?
What's good about that is like a guy like McGrew. He's been a defensive end, so he knows how he's being attacked. So he's a really good resource for himself and the other guys on the team. He said, hey, listen, this is how this guy's going to play that technique. We line up on him. So that's actually been a really good resource for him. When you play on the other side of the ball and you understand what they're trying to do to you, it helps you in your execution.
How's Griffin Palmer grown since he's gotten a lot more reps?
He's got a lot stronger. He's in great football condition. And again, for him, it's experience. It's executing the things that happen to you at game speed and knowing how to, win those situations.
Lewis Dorsey seems like a basketball player, right? I mean, he's got that kind of build and athleticism.
Yeah, he's got some explosiveness. He's a talented young kid. And the same thing. We're throwing him right into the mix right there, and he has the ability to do it. The same thing for him is he's trying to learn the scheme and execute at a high level, and you know how it is. He is in flow and free flowing right now, because he's learning what we're doing off of.
Bob Ligashevsky, the tight end and special team coach for the Fighting Illini. Got a good chance there to hear from Hardy Nickerson, Andrew Hayes-Stoker as well. All the coaches as they continue training camp for the Fighting Illini. I want to thank Derek Piper, came in studio, IlliniInquirer.com. Also, we had our Mettler Center injury report with Jeff Schroeder, Doctor of Physical Therapy. Austin Berkland, you did the first segment with Jeremy. Now you're doing the last segment with me. You are kind of the jack of all trades today.
I guess so.
That's solid.
I've used all 4 mics today.
You have,
That's
actually.
Interesting.
I don't know if anybody's ever done that.
So, I'm breaking records in the last few weeks of the Tay and J Show.
It's amazing. That is truly amazing. In almost 7 years, nobody's ever used all 4 mics. All right, Cardinals baseball is next. Reds and Cardinals. Cubbies lost.
Thank you.
So the Cardinals can gain a game tonight. Come on, just win something. It is the Tay and J Show. Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
More. AAA Insurance. So easy, so smart, so switch. For your free quote, call 855-QUOTE-AAA. Visit your local AAA branch or go to AAA.com. That's 855-QUOTE-AAA. Some restrictions apply. You must qualify for any discount. AAA Insurance is provided to qualified AAA members by affiliate AAA insurers.
All right, Wilsons, bring it in. We've got the Cardinals game this weekend, but let's score some extra fun in St. Louis. Let's hear some chatter. Who's up? What do you say now, kids? Let's go to the Science Center. Can of corn. How about your brother? Have a look now, kid.
Lamar Sculpture Park.
Attaboy. Keep it going.
The Butterfly House.
There we go now. Bring him home, Dad.
The National Blues Museum.
Hum, baby. That's a winner.
St. Louis.